Warning. It is the opinion of the Forestry Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language.
Anyway, so I get this guy out of the kitchen. He comes back, walks out, just normal, walks out having conversation. He's maybe slurring his words a little bit. Hey, officer, what's going on? Type of stuff. And then I'm just like, I put him through fields. He does okay. But then I B.A.C him. I get his blood results back. He's a .43.
It has to be a mistake.
Yeah, no.
Was it a mistake?
Now if you do blood work.
Yeah.
What's
and I'm
normal
telling
for
you,
blood? What's normal for blood?
I would have to say, well, the highest limit that the state of Pennsylvania considers is .16.
Okay.
Yeah, so this guy, and the legal limit for driving is .08. So if you're over .08 B.A.C, like the state considers you DUI. This guy was a .4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
was
he's
he
sitting
just
there
snorting moonshine or something? God.
He's a professional. He's a career alcoholic. He goes to bed over the legal limit. He gets up in the morning and he brushes his teeth with a shot of booze.
Oh my God.
The idea is that you go to the DMV intoxicated. You take your driver's license test with a B.A.C. If you pass, you now have, instead of a .08, I passed with a .12. And so it now reflects on my license, and you now have a new legal limit,
There you go.
It's
I
not
like
fair.
that.
That guy, other than the major accident, but he probably could drive safely at a 3.6.
And we also don't know if it was his fault either.
That guy probably stopped short.
Yeah. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by Jdubs, Justin Richardson, the amazing Jamie Iglesias, and our guest today is the one and only Jared Courts. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You have us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspective@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Jdub, how we doing? Bye-bye.
Ooh, I'm feeling good on a Tuesday.
Feeling good on a Tuesday. Very nice. Jamie, how art thou?
I'm doing great. Just enjoying my day off of work.
Ooh, well, speaking of days off of work, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's our objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
All right, on the show today, Jdub, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, let me tell you a little bit about our guest today, Jared Courts. Haven't thrown that one out there in a while.
I haven't had one of those. I haven't had a let me tell you in a while.
I haven't done a let me tell you in a while.
Let me tell you, at the beginning, I used to be like, you'd be like, let me tell you. I'd be like, the fuck it. I'd mumble under my breath when you would let me tell me previously. But no, I appreciate your let me tell me's.
Oh, appreciate you.
Let me tell you that I am okay with you telling me about the letting of the telling and the me telling of the letting.
Wow. Well, uncipher that, please. But either way, on the show today, we have Jared Courts. Jared Courts is the co-host of the Crew Show. It's a podcast. We'll have a link in the description of this episode. He's also a police officer, and he's a friend of mine from the Henzo Gracie PA Academy. Super excited to get another Henzo Gracie guy on the show. So, Jared, super excited to have you on. Thanks for being on. But before we get started, I would just like to ask, what movie do you think is better, The Godfather Part 1 or The Godfather Part 2?
I would have to say The Godfather Part 1.
Yeah, you know. You are such a nice guy.
Originals are always the best.
You know, in most cases, I would agree with you. But even a garbage can gets a steak, pal. All right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. All right. What about Cheetos? Crunchy or puffed?
Crunchy.
Man,
OG, baby.
Oh, dude, crunchy's the only way to go. I'll tell you.
That's right.
We had, you wouldn't believe the puffissance we had on this show. We asked this question probably 50 times before someone said puffed, and then people said puff for like a year.
It was for a while, yeah.
Brought me down.
Yep, and then now we're
climbed
back.
the puff mountain and I turned around.
Yeah, you sure did, pal. You're puffed out, buddy. What about pancakes?
People are too soft nowadays, Matt.
Oh yeah, totally. What about pancakes or waffles?
Waffles. I like a good Belgian waffle over a pancake.
The best, dude. A good Belge.
Absolutely.
That's a tough decision, though.
It is tough because sometimes you want a flapjack, right, James?
Yeah. It just depends on what you're in the mood for.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good flapjack just as much as the next guy. But dude, if I had a
pancakes
preference,
are usually such a letdown for me, though. You know.
Wow, what do you mean? You got what you asked for when you order pancakes.
I would love to, like, I want to go to a place. I want to find a place that's supposed to have the best pancakes in the world, right? Because I'll tell you, I'll go to a place that has the best pancakes in the world. I'll try those pancakes, and every time I'll say, I wish I would have had a waffle. All right, you know what I'm saying?
I'm right there with you, dude. I agree. You
know? That's what I mean, you know, eventually we'll get there. We'll do a show road trip. When we go to New York, we'll look for the best pancake place up there and we'll get
Please invite me.
Yeah,
I'll come
best
with you.
Diner.
Yeah, we're going to do a recording in New York in late June with a friend of ours and owner of the Cutting Room, Steve Walters. He's a great dude, great guy. But okay, let's keep it going.
Let's do it.
Yep. Yeah, oh dude, you're going to love it. So, okay. So then after that, what about what comes after? Oh, when it comes to it, you like a amusement park or a water park?
Ooh, good one. I think I'm leaning towards water park.
Matt.
Wow.
Yeah, you still get the excitement, you still get the dopamine rush and the adrenaline rush, but you get to cool off too.
Yeah.
No, I get more motion sickness on roller coasters than I do on.
I'm a water park guy. Same. The Lord took from me roller coasters at the age of like 24.
I agree. Probably about the same age. Yeah.
Wait, why? What do you mean?
I used to love them. I used to ride them. I used to be able to ride the Gravitron. Loved it. And then one day
a Gravitron?
The Gravitron spun all crazy and you could like stand side
and you could go upside down.
I could go upside down on the Gravitron. Yeah. I used to ride the teacups. And then one time with my uncle, we were on like the teacup that spins and then you could spin your own.
Yeah.
Remember that? And he was whipping that thing. And I got off, I threw up, and ever since then, I get motion sickness.
Wow.
Sounds familiar. Yeah. I think I had a similar experience. Yeah.
Wow.
And now, the Lord took roller coasters. He took milk away. He's an unforgiving.
Do you know that one ride too, where it's like it's like almost like a half shell, and it's like it teeters back and forth, like it goes around in a circle, and you're on a circle.
The pirate ship?
No. It's like using the Viking ship it just swings.
No. I know what that one is.
Matt?
Right, but there's another one where you sit in it, right, and it's like you and another person, and you're in like a half shell, and it'll rotate around it's on a circle track, and then it also goes around in a circle. I forget what it's called, but either way.
Oh god damn.
Yeah. It's I took my 2.5-year-old daughter on it, and that was a mistake.
Is it like in the shape of a bear, or like is it always like themed or something?
I mean, the one we went on was like shark themed, but it wasn't in the shape of a shark. I don't know. I think it's called like a tilt-a-whirl or something like that. But
yeah.
Dude, the long ship though.
Here you are trying to be a good dad.
Yeah. I took her on the teacups and she was fine. I thought, all right, let's juice this up, go on the tilt-a-whirl. Not a good idea. Yeah.
You had to pay for it. Yeah.
Let's get crazy and put you in one of those paintball suits.
So then, okay. So, what about Bill Murray or Chevy Chase?
Bill Murray all the way.
All the way.
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
likes Chase over Murray, Justin.
Yeah,
You're
I
the
stopped.
only
I stopped
one.
liking Chase
somebody did.
probably after. Geez, what movie was it?
Fletch
Probably
too.
after National Lampoons. You know,
Yeah.
Bill Murray. I still think he has staying power.
Yeah, I mean he's Bill fucking Murray.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Cops and Robertsons probably did it in for me for Chase. But
Yeah, I forgot about that one. You're right.
you think you would remember that one, being that you're in the profession, but whatever.
You would think so. Yeah, that was Jack Palance, right?
Jack
Was
Palance.
the-
That's
yes,
right. I'm
gotcha,
surprised you know
gotcha.
that name.
Oh yeah, baby.
Love Jack Palance.
City Slickers.
That's what I was just gonna say. City.
Yeah, Justin, you know who Jack Palance is? I thought you didn't have a dad.
I don't have a dad, but Jack Palance is filled a bit. No, I didn't know his name, but as soon as you said it, I was like, "Oh, that guy."
Yeah.
It's
Jack
funny you say that,
Palance.
Matt, because the only reason I know I shouldn't say the only reason, but the main reason I know Jack Palance is because of my father.
Same.
Yeah.
From what was the name of the God? It's like the first cowboy movie. I think it's like Troy.
Western.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Troy or
yeah.
something, or Luke or whatever.
Something
or
like that. Yeah.
Hale or
Eh.
Shale or Shane. Shane
That's
is the
it.
name of
That's
the
it.
movie. Great flick.
Mhm.
But Palance was the bad guy in Shane. Yeah.
He was, and he was a good bad guy. And then I remember when
Great.
City Slickers came out, and my dad's like, "That's Jack Palance." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Who the hell is
same.
that?" And then he had to take me on this whole long journey of who this actor was. You know?
Yep. It's all about I mean, it's just part of having a father. Something Justin will never know. You know? It is what it is. It is what it is. Actually, when I was really
Sorry,
young-
Justin.
I have
Yeah.
so many. I know what it's like. That father. I've got a biological, an adopted, a step.
but none of them ever loved you. But hey,
No.
either way,
They're all just a bunch
kidding.
of empty.
I went to now I'm Justin's father, and it's great, and I love him. I love
There
him
you
like
go.
a son.
You
Take better
adopted him.
care of
Yep.
me.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's only because I sleep with his mom. But either way, just kidding.
You've also punched me in the face.
It happens. But no, I actually met Jack Palance when I was like 4 years old, but we were going to a
No shit.
zoo. Yeah, I lived in California until I was 7. We lived in Simi Valley, and we were going to a zoo. I think it might have been the San Diego Zoo or something like that. And when we were going into the zoo, he was like walking there, and my dad saw him, was like, "Oh, fucking Jack Palance," you know. So
Nice.
and he's like, "Jack Palance, come say hi to my kids. I got 4 of them. You're gonna meet all of my kids. Fuck up." Yeah. So, all right. Either way, this is the next question is probably the most important question you'll ever be asked, and it's going to
Mhm.
decide the person you are.
Okay.
When it comes to eating wings, are you drums or are you flat?
I would say for sheer convenience, probably drums. But
Drums needed a win there, pal.
I'm
needed a win.
I'm kind of right down the middle though. You know,
Yeah.
like the flats are good if you twist the one small bone out of it and you just go and just rip the whole thing out.
Yep.
You know?
Wow. I didn't know they let communists
move.
be cops.
But then when you do that, you get like all the fat and gross stuff.
And it's all
Well,
like
yeah,
mush.
you're going
It's
all in.
mush. It's mush.
Mm-mm.
There's
I
no texture. It's all
That's
mush.
that's
There's
the
all
whole wing
kinds of
eating
ligaments.
experience.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I
There's
don't
all
know.
kinds of gross stuff on the drum.
I mean,
If
but
I
you
bite
know,
into like one thing, I'm done. I can't even eat anymore.
you know what's the most disgusting thing? Have you ever had a McDonald's chicken nugget that had like a vein in it?
Ugh.
Yes.
Oh,
I've had a chicken nugget that's had a bone in it before too.
Whoa.
At McDonald's.
At McDonald's, yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
Are you sure it was a bone?
I'm pretty sure. Well, at least I hope it was. It could have been like a
No.
deep fried freaking Band-Aid or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been
Toenail.
literally anything.
Ugh.
Man, dude, that's why Chick-fil-A, best ever. Shout out, fan of the show,
Oh,
listener of the
boom.
show. Love Chick-fil-A.
Boom.
Boom. Nice. All right. So let's keep it moving. So, like we said, the Crew Show. You're hosting the Crew Show. It's available on all podcast platforms and YouTube at the Crew Show. You're also on Instagram. We're gonna have links to we're gonna have links in the description of this episode to all your stuff for the Crew Show. Let us know
Yeah, thanks.
what do you got going on the Crew Show.
Right now, we're kind of taking a small hiatus.
Hiatus.
My brother's going through some health stuff right now, so we're waiting until
shit.
he gets that all worked out, and then we're
all
planning
right?
on getting back to it. Yeah, he's doing good. He's fighting hard, you know.
Yeah.
And then our other host Matt, he lives out in California. He's always hustling, got stuff going on out there.
Yeah.
So it's hard getting everybody together at the same time, especially me being in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
My brother lives in Arizona, and then my other co-host Matt lives in California. So trying to get us all on the same timeline is sometimes next to impossible. But when we do make it happen, it's usually pretty. There's gold there, you know.
Yeah. Nice. Justin, you had a question?
There's gold in those hills. No, so it's the Crew is your brother and Matt. Matt's a friend growing up, or where'd Matt come from?
Yeah. We met Matt back in high school, back in Central Bucks West. He was a friend of a friend, and when we all used to hang out together back at my house, we came up with like a group name, I guess. Like, we're going over to Jared's house for crew parties on Friday nights, you know. And then, fast forward 20 years later when we decided to all get a podcast, because Matt he had a previous podcast before, and then we kind of got into it, me and my brother, and then we decided what to name it was the Crew Show, because that was the name of our old group back in the day. So it's kind of got some sentimental value.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing, kids don't realize how big gangs were back in the day. Everybody and their mother wanted to be in a gang, and you're starting gangs and you're getting into gangs, and it's all about the gang, babe.
It's a sense of community.
It is.
Sense of loyalty and friendship, people you can depend upon. It takes a
That's
village.
right.
It takes
Being
a gang.
in a
That's
gang is the coolest. It's the coolest.
What's the
everybody's
age
similar
gap
interest
between you and your brother?
3 years.
Are you
3
the
years.
older or younger?
I'm the younger brother. Yeah, I am 41. My brother is 44. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. So what are you guys talking about on the Crew Show?
Well, my co-host Matt, he's a comedian, so we try to mix in the comedy stuff. We talk a lot about current events and entertainment and music. Like, we're all musicians, so there's usually like a lot of music talk and stuff like that. You know,
what instruments do you play?
I started playing drums when I was in junior high. I did that
Nice.
about 4 or 5 years, and then the band that I was in back then needed a vocalist, so I was like, I'll give that a shot. And so I've been singing ever since. So I guess it's been about 15 years of singing, and then I picked up guitar about 5 years ago.
Oh,
That's awesome.
nice.
I've always wanted to be naturally good at music,
Oh,
but I suck. I can never.
same.
But my
Same.
parents would never. I always wanted to do drums, but my parents would never buy me a drum set.
I'm
Yeah.
so with you. I always wanted to be able to play. I think I'm tone deaf, but I always wanted to be able to play an instrument, i.e., the piano. Would love.
Oh
to be able
yeah. When I was
Matt.
little, it was violin or piano.
Yeah.
I don't think you're tone deaf, Matt, when you hit the Twitter.
Yeah, but that's all I got though. You know,
There's those two notes.
I have a vocal range, right? But no, I can't strum a little, whatever. I fall apart there. But
Gotcha.
yeah, nice. Okay. So it's you and your buddies, you're talking comedy, you're talking music, and you're just kicking it old school like the Crew, right?
That's right. Mhm.
Dude, I'll tell you, that is the best, man. Everyone was in a gang growing up. Jane, were you ever in a gang?
No way. Oh, you know what? There was like a small period of time when I was like really into Lil Wayne. So I'd like wear red for Bloods. I had a band and I felt a little.
Wow. You would have been right in on the Bloods.
It was a
Absolutely.
fashion statement. That's all.
Man,
Gotta represent.
I've
Yeah.
literally been in gangs my entire life.
Damn.
First gang, I was 8, and it was the Bad Boys on the Block, right?
Good.
And then the Bad Boys on the Block merged with the Bulldogs, right? And then we expanded to the Creekside Kids, right? And then we were the Borough Boys, and then that turned into the Confederation of 4th Street Park Natives, which I am still into this day, because once you're 4th Street, you're 4th Street for life. And that's just how it goes, right?
Was that like one group of people just changing their name or different groups of people?
Pretty much, yeah. It's one group of people that kind of expanded and added members throughout the years. And then, once it reached maximum occupancy of like 30 people, then we were like, look, we need...
Oh, it's significant.
Oh, dude, it was like a whole neighborhood. neighborhood of
Damn.
probably the best.
And this was all in
looking,
Lansdale,
most
right?
talented. We're not on all of Lansdale. It's only the 4th Street side, 4th Street Park neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Because we're not dealing with those White Road scumbags or those West Third idiots. You know what I'm saying? Or Penn Street. No one's going near Penn Street. Penn Street gets back out. But yeah, so that's what we got going. You know, that's life, man. That's life. Gangs. I've been gang life my whole life. You know,
Gang,
what are you
gang.
gonna do?
That's right.
Gang.
Gangster.
So nice.
Thug life.
So let's talk a little about you, Jared. So Jared, where did you grow? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I was born in Sellersville,
Nice.
the Grandview, and
There you
then
go.
my parents originally had a house in Lansdale, ironically.
Ooh, land of the free, home of the brave. Nice. So you grew up in so you're born in Sellersville. Parents had a house in Lansdale, but where did you do your growing up primarily?
And then after that, we moved out of Lansdale when I was in kindergarten. I started kindergarten in New Britain, Doylestown area. And I spent about 20 years there. Yeah. Until my parents separated.
School at all or no?
No. I went to Doyle Elementary, and then I went to Lenape Middle School, and then to Central Bucks West.
Nice.
Yeah.
Justin, what were you gonna ask?
Jamie, are your parents excuse me. Jamie, are your parents divorced?
No, they're still together.
What's
And they love her.
What were you, 20, 21? How old were you when your parents got divorced?
Me?
No, Jared.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was I guess I was about 23, 24
All right.
at the time.
What's
So
that
you're a
like?
little older. Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah, what's the 20? Because I mean, at that point, did you still live with them at that point?
Yeah, I still live with my mom at the time. So
You're like,
yeah, it
"Dad's
was
moving
weird.
out."
Man.
You know what's tough is
Yeah.
like, because my dad left when I was 15. They had split up before and got back together, my parents. So my dad left when I was 15. So I was old enough to see like it happening, right? But I mean, you know, I was still 15. But when you're 23, you're old enough to see it happening, right? So like,
or have like called it years before. Like I was 6, so you know what I mean. Like I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're 20, I'm sure part of you is like, all right, this was 4 years too late.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing for me, I mean, I guess I was working full time. I was kind of doing my own thing at the time. I was never home. You know, I was always out playing music or out working and stuff. But where I really noticed the difference was with my younger siblings. That's where it really hit them hard, you know, like, but with me, it was just kind of like, hey, you know, like I kind of saw this coming down the pike for a while, but like for my two sisters, it was a real big adjustment for them. You know, they were both in college, or one was in college, another one was kind of figuring out what she was trying to do. And I think that the younger one handled it better than my older sister. But I mean, still, it was, for me, at least, I was just like, all right, you know, it's just another chapter that's closing in my life, you know?
How many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother, and then I have two younger sisters, and we have a couple fosters in there too.
Oh, nice. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Damn, you had a packed house then, huh?
Oh, it was crazy. It was always crazy. Everybody was like, hey, we're going to the Courts family house.
Yeah. Did you do
It's always a party.
Did they do foster kids before? Like how old were you when you guys had foster kids? When foster kids
let me think here. I was probably about 10 years old, I guess. 11 years. No, maybe about 12 when we got our first foster. She was about 15 when she came in, and
you were 12.
Like, I was about 12. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you guys get along?
Yeah, we got along great. Oh, I'm
Was
actually
she hot? You were probably like, Mom,
did you bang her?
No, I didn't. No.
Eventually, like after living like together like that, you're like, I wouldn't go near her. You know what I mean? Because like, women are disgusting. You're disgusting,
that's the thing,
Jamie.
It's like, like after a while, it's like I just accepted her as a part of the family. You know, it was like it would be like I'm sleeping with my sister, which would be really fucking weird.
But like in the concept of like being 13 and then just bring in a 17-year-old girl. Into
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You're like, wait. Is this Pornhub come to life? What's going on here? Yeah.
Why did your parents want to foster kids?
Because she was
they're like, the kids we have fucking suck, so we're gonna buy some new ones.
You're gonna test them all out.
These kids suck. We need more.
Yeah.
No, so she was kind of like a friend of a friend, you know. And so she came and she had a really bad story, of her
Yeah.
past and whatnot. So
Yeah.
my mom wants to save the world. She still does, like she
God
would take
bless
it.
her.
If you come and say, hey, I need a place to live, she'd be like, come on, live with me,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the way my mom was. We brought her in and she's doing great. She's, everybody that my mom raised does great eventually.
She probably, she probably saved that girl's life, bro. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah. I would agree with that.
My mom
Absolutely.
would do that too. Like, there's people that stayed at our house, like never like fostered, but like friends of ours that, they had to their parents got kicked out of their place. They got to stay at our place, or like, you know what I mean? Like, they're having trouble with their family. They can stay at our place for a little bit. You know who else was like that? Pete McCormick's family was like that too. Like, they would let people stay there. You know what I mean? Like, they were just cool. Like, like, hey, like, you can hang out here and do the thing. Go ahead, Justin.
I have a brother like that. He's 10 years younger than me, but he was the neighbor's kid, and the neighbors sucked. And then my dad was just like, hey, how about you live here?
Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And they gave him a room and stuff, and now I technically have 7 brothers.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
How many brothers you have?
No girls.
Oh my God, that's a lot of siblings, period.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of abuse too.
Just 7 punching bags for the old man to go ham on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So you're growing up, you're doing your thing. What would you're living in your family. That is kind of a cool experience. So getting like the foster family and just more unique people coming in. And also it gives you like a perspective of like, yeah, shit might be bad at our house, but it ain't fucking that bad. You know what I mean? In comparison, shit ain't that bad. I remember like getting a lot of perspective that way, where it's like, if we had like cousins or something that got evicted out of their house, like, I might not like my parents that much, but at least we ain't getting evicted.
It's a perfect way of saying it. Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You might argue with your parents, but at least there's food and clothing. Yeah. Hey, we even got a family computer. What fucking doing it?
So we have a Dell.
Yeah. So you're doing your thing, right? What was your first job? Or actually, what kind of sports were you getting into as a kid?
Oh yeah, sports as a kid. When I was younger in like elementary school, I did like the typical stuff. Like, I did wrestling, I did baseball, stuff like that. And then when I got into junior high, my brother got into motocross and supercross, dirt bikes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Bro.
So, yeah. So I looked up to my brother a lot. And as soon as I started on dirt bikes.
3 years older than you?
Yeah, he's 3 years older than me. Yeah. So about in junior high, or like late elementary school, early junior high, like we started riding dirt bikes, eventually riding dirt bikes panned into racing dirt bikes. And then it was just a big snowball effect. That's pretty much all we were for the longest time. Like everybody knew my family and knew me and my brothers as like, oh, those are the racer guys, or those are the dirt bike
bikers.
Kids.
Yeah, there's the dirtbag dirt bikers.
Yeah. Absolutely. And all my fucking neighbors knew us for like our dirt bikes. It was like Monday through Friday. We're just out there fucking ripping around and shit,
Dude, I'll tell you, Mike Johnson from the gym, right?
Yeah.
Mike Johnson. So we had him on the show, and he was big into motocross too, and dirt bikes.
Oh, no shit.
Stuff. Oh yeah, big time. And he I think he was sponsored too. But either way, he said his dad had a great saying, right? Where he's like, you might like this now, but one day we're gonna find out if you love it. Right. And that day came, and he broke like everything. Right.
Yeah.
So, and he was telling us all about it. So, did you have a day where you learned if you loved it or not?
Yes. It's funny you say that. I mean, I was, how old was I? I guess I was about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And so my house that I grew up at, we had 10 acres. It was an old horse farm.
Nice.
And once my mom got rid of the horses, my dad was an excavator. So I was like, Dad, like me and my brother were like, bring the backhoe home. We're going to build some jumps in the back,
Yeah.
So he came home. We built this track in the back of my house. Nice. So fast forward a couple of years, I'm 13 years old. I'm doing these jumps in the back and everything.
Yeah, berms and all that.
A little 125. What do you got?
At the time I had a 125. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was 2-stroke 125. Like screaming, just rip your fucking eardrums out.
Dude, were you able to work on the bikes and stuff like that too? Like, did you learn the mechanics of it at all?
I learned the basics. My brother was the mechanic. My brother
nice.
had that engineering brain where he could take shit apart
Nice.
and like he could just look at it and then put it back together in like the same condition, you
See,
know.
I love that.
If not
dude.
better.
Because I'll tell you,
Yeah.
that's one thing that they said is it's a fucking expensive fucking hobby.
Extremely.
Because Josh did it too. Josh Lawler did it too. Right. And oh yeah. So they were telling us out like even the traveling for it on a trip, like it just was so much, but so much fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay. So your dad's got the excavator, you're building jumps in the backyard, you got your shit going on, you're doing a 125. So what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm riding in the back after school one day, and I'm coming up to this double that we had in the back. So two bumps essentially, large bumps. Anyway, so I did this thing called cross rutting. My front tire gets put in a rut on the right side. My back tire gets put on a rut on the left side, and I go through the air like that, essentially sideways. Yeah. So my dumbass, I go to try to break my fall. I stick my leg out to break my fall. So yeah, I have the total force of the bike and my fat ass and everything coming down on my left leg. It's quite painful.
Thinking about that.
Yeah.
Oh god. Ugh.
Yeah.
Dude, no,
there was compounds.
There was no way.
Oh yeah, it was
coming down to
compound. Yeah.
that. Did you break your tibia?
I broke my ankle. I shattered my growth plate. I snapped my
Did you break your
my
femur?
Yeah.
Shit!
Yeah.
Snapped it.
You
What's
broke your fucking femur?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, it was pretty
compound.
atrocious.
Did you pass out from the pain? Or
I passed out from the pain. The next thing I remember was my brother and one of our friends was wheeling me down to my house in a wheelbarrow.
Oh my god.
We're like,
it was quite
his
atrocious.
legs over there, Mom. We don't know.
I got
Yeah, it
most
was
of
terrible.
Dude, you woke up in the dude, they're probably hitting every bump. You're like, God
Yeah.
damn it, my
That's essentially what woke me up was like the bumps and shit. I'm like,
oh my god, I would have fucked, dude. That even thinking about that, it's like, it gives me the willies.
So thankfully enough, my leg was still intact, but it was just hanging on barely,
Dude,
And my mom took me to the doctor and I had to have reconstructive surgery and everything. I still have 3 screws in there now. So
baby.
Yeah.
Woo! Golly. Yeah, we found
the price you pay.
I mean, did you get back on the bike after that?
So basically I had reconstructive surgery. I was laid up for a month and then I had to go. I was in a wheelchair for a month and then I was on crutches for a month after that. Yeah. And then as soon as I was able to walk, I was back on the bike.
Damn, bro. He didn't like it. He loved it.
I loved it, man.
Damn right.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I wish I could have got the ride. My couple buddies had dirt bikes and stuff growing up, and same thing. It's like hockey. Like I didn't play hockey because my parents were like, "No, basketball requires shoes and a ball. Go out there and figure it out."
Yeah.
They would have let me on a dirt bike. I'd be dead, but I would have loved it.
Yeah, that's something I agree. That's something I always wanted to do, like ride the dirt bike and stuff. I do. I'll tell you, I do like riding a bike, and now I feel like a huge pussy. Because I almost got in like a bike, like I almost crashed my bike the other day. And
be careful.
Yeah, but it wasn't even close to what he's talking about. Like I barely would have gotten hurt if I would have crashed, like he's like legit like legs falling off. I would have been like, ouch, but I would have probably cried, because it probably really hurt.
You got to ride home and cry.
Yeah, what the heck?
But how did you almost crash your bike?
Oh, funny you mention it. Is that there's like this trail, the 202 bypass trail, but it goes by. If you take it, it goes up State Road and it'll go to Doylestown, right? And I actually passed your alma mater, CBS High School. But on the way back, I'm going down like this hill and there's a sharp turn. And for some reason, I like looked at my phone. And then by the time I looked up, the turn was there and it was too late for me to turn. So I tried to brake and I like skidded the back tire out and then went off the trail into this like high grass that like stopped me. And I was like, ah!
Oh, you're lucky, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, duh. Come on. I mean, I did get hit by a truck last year. Remember that, Justin?
I believe you hit a truck.
Whoa.
Was it moving?
For insurance purposes. for the insurance, we hit each other, pal. All right.
It was a 60-40, but
I was going down this hill, and while I was going down the hill, there's a light at the bottom of the hill, and I had gotten the green, but the guy tried to beat you know what I mean? Like he was going through the red light late, you know, like trying to beat it, and we went through the intersection at the same time. And he just passed, dude. It could have been so much worse now I think about it. But he just passed me, and I braked and like sideswiped, like nailed his truck.
My God, did you get hurt?
You know, I got like a couple scratches, and you know, it was a little sore. But then I ended up getting a skin infection in my leg.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was.
Well, that's what they say about riding bikes. It's not a matter of if you fall; it's just a matter of when.
Oh, dude.
You know,
I had one where I cracked my helmet because, I mean, I shouldn't have been out, but there was like this really big ice storm a couple of years ago, and I was out riding after the ice storm, and I was going down this hill, and the bike just like came out from underneath me, and I just planted on my back, and I remember my head nailed the cement behind me, and like when I got up, there was a big crack in the helmet. My head was okay. Oh, dude, I'll always wear a helmet after that.
No shit, man.
Oh, bro. Woof. Learn that the hard way. But either way, so let's keep it moving. So you're doing dirt bike and all that stuff, wrestling, but let's talk jobs. I want to talk jobs. What was your first job?
My first job, I was like I said, my dad was an excavator. You know, he had excavation machines, backhoes, and stuff like that. So that was my first legit paid job was being a laborer for my dad, digging in the dirt.
Just doing the shit work. Yeah,
doing the shit work. You know, he would dig a trench. I would get in there with my shovel and, you know, digging the mud and scooping shit out, throwing it out of fucking, you know, like 8-foot trenches and shit like that, stuff like that.
Dude, that's some real work, bro.
Yeah. And then my first paid job on the books, I was, I think I worked at like a toy warehouse, like
nice.
Yeah, like an equivalent to like a
Toys R Us or something.
Like a Toys R Us. Yeah. I was just like happy that I was like, God damn, I'm not standing down in a trench anymore, you know?
Yeah. You literally would do anything after that.
Yeah. And then after that, you name it, I pretty much did everything after that, you know. Nice. And then I worked pretty much up until off and on with my dad up until I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. And then my brother was doing contracting work, and I got into contracting work with him, roofing, siding, windows, stuff like that. Yeah. We started our own roofing business. We did that for about 5 years. And then he moved to Arizona, and then I started doing construction carpentry work. So did a lot of construction.
Nice.
You do fast food?
Come to think of it, no, I've never done any fast food
any
work.
Restaurant or
any servers.
I was a server in Friendly's for like a summer.
Nice.
Yeesh, that's tough.
Yeah,
Friendly's is tough.
You do grocery store work?
No grocery store work. No.
All right.
Nice. All right, we are coming to our favorite segment. It is now time for Jdubs questions. Asking some questions. Jdubs questions, a new favorite segment. Jdubs question segment.
You say you're tone deaf.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I didn't say I didn't have the voice of a goddamn god. But either way, Jared Justin here is going to ask you some questions, and some of them might be okay, some might be shit. But either way, he's still going to ask them, and hopefully you'll answer. Jdub, take it away.
I've got another sweet privilege to talk to a police officer while not being interrogated by him.
How about it?
Have you ever pit maneuvered anybody?
Woo!
No. I have dreamed of it, but no, I have never officially
you and I
pit maneuvered anyone.
Did Chris pit maneuver someone?
on Skipback Pike too. It's a tight pit.
Chris Paulson.
Chris Paulson, yeah. He was on the show a couple weeks ago.
That's a good 2-lane pit.
Great dude.
Same question I asked Chris. Can I drop your name when I get in trouble? Will that help at all?
Yes, you can.
Where are you
Absolutely.
at?
Doylestown Township.
I don't be up there very often, so.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in Central Bucks, you can go ahead and drop my name.
Doylestown lets rich whites up there, Justin. They're not letting your scumbag ass up there.
They stopped me right at the 202 bypass.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, buddy, whoa.
Just turn it around there, pal.
Yeah, you're not allowed in this town, all right?
What's What's the fastest you've hit in the cop car?
Well, I used to drive a Dodge Charger. So
badass.
it's gotten up there. I would say it's probably like 108, 110.
Nice.
Moving.
Yeah.
And do you guys have NOS in that thing?
No. I wish, but no.
A little Fast and Furious fucking.
Dude,
Dude,
turbo?
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have turbo in it?
No, unfortunately, no.
The old
I've
Crown-
asked a bunch, but no.
Yeah.
The old Crown Vics had superchargers.
Some of them did, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
What so do you get to pick your own sidearm?
No, so my
Great
sidearm's
question.
assigned to me. It's whatever they take. So we have Glock 22s and Glock 23s. It's essentially the 40 caliber. It's the full frame 40 cal, the full mag, or the Glock 23, which is the shorter mag.
Does it depend on like the precinct you're in? Will determine the weapon you have, or is it like a
Yes.
state issue? Oh, really? So
Yeah.
every different police precinct or township or whatever will be like,
Yep.
hey, we're Glocks here and they're Rugers over there, and
Mhm.
oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's whatever you can get off government bid contract, like if they can get, say we have 22 officers, if they can get, 24 because they need a couple extra for like a discount. So they'll order whatever they can get it at government contract. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
If you
Mhm.
could pick anything you wanted, what would you
Ooh.
carry?
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied with the Glock. It's
Yeah,
a really good gun. I'm
Dependable,
used to
right?
it. It's dependable. I've qualified with it. All the departments that I've worked at have all carried Glock. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
pretty used to it at this point. I know how to make it work.
Do you carry a weapon in your personal life?
Absolutely.
What do you carry?
Yes.
A Glock?
I have a
gun.
Springfield 45 subcompact. Yeah.
God damn. You ain't
Yeah, it's a
fucking
hand cannon.
Hell yeah, hey man. Dude, I'll tell you the one thing, I mean, I know guns is a hot topic, right? But like
Mhm.
using guns responsibly, there's nothing,
Yes.
I don't know. That's, I mean,
Guns are
It-
fun.
We could talk for hours about this. A
I
properly
do-
trained person,
Dude.
that knows how to like operate a firearm responsibly
yes.
can solve a lot of issues.
I agree. Also, I think too, like, if you're an adult male in a family, right? Or
Mhm.
if like whatever, you can be in a lesbian relationship, but also there can be someone who's in charge of protecting the family, right? Like
Mhm.
it is your job to protect the household, right?
Mhm.
Like I have a gun in this house and I have a toddler essentially in the house,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. And if anything, like I have a gun that both me and if my wife needed to use it, she could use it also.
There you go.
Like it's important to have that. It sucks that it's something that's necessary, right? And it's a shame, but it's one of those things where it's like I believe at least that it's better to have it and never need it than need it
Yes.
and don't fucking have it.
As
You
B.A.C.
know?
once said.
Amen.
So, Matt, did you go through training to use your gun and stuff?
My gun is essentially the ideal home defense weapon. It's a Mossberg 20 gauge shotgun, pump action
There you go.
shotgun with a
Mhm.
pistol grip handle that like I used to have a hunting shotgun as my house defense gun, but honestly, it was so big I couldn't even like point it in a hallway. Where the Mossberg, it's got a pistol grip, which means that it doesn't have the long barrel at the end, and you can hold it real tight. Where like if you're in a hallway or a stairwell or something like that, then it's like a lot easier to use than a big old fucking hunting rifle. Also, I have the 20 gauge bird shot, where one, if someone hears like the cocking the
Deterrent.
rifle, huge
Mhm.
deterrent there.
Mhm.
Also, I have bird shot where if you get shot with this thing, it's gonna fuck you up, but it won't kill you, right? It'll put you down. And then also, I'm not getting any innocent bystanders either, because it's not gonna go through a house, But
Yes.
it will pepper your ass, and you will not like it. But
Give me a-
Good. You done your research.
yeah, man. No, who helped me
Yeah.
out with that? Rich helped me out a lot with that.
There you
'Cause,
go.
dude,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
during the pandemic, I was living in the city with my in-laws, and essentially, like, yeah, my father-in-law's there, but I'm, obviously, I would say I'm in charge of protecting this house if something happened.
Mhm.
And then they had called off the response to small arms crimes during the
Mhm.
pandemic just because it was so much, right? So I was like,
Mhm.
and like, there was car break-ins and all that shit in the neighborhood we were in. I was like, fuck this, man. If someone comes in here, I'm lighting them the fuck up. I'm
Yeah.
not taking a chance with my wife, my kid, my in-laws. Like, it's just not worth it. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. So,
And
to do
and
it
I would
the-
have to
the
say
best
that's
way
one thing the
possible.
pandemic has done, has really wised people up to like what exactly can happen just outside your door,
Yeah.
And then what happened for me is like when I became a police officer, it really helped me realize, like, I have to say, like, before I got into law enforcement, it was like I kind of lived inside my own bubble. It was like, nothing's going to happen outside of these four walls,
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
one thing that, like, and especially the pandemic did, is like, not only can it not happen outside these four walls, but it can happen right next door, or it could be anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
it could be like, well, I'm going to the grocery store or something. So like,
Yeah.
I subscribe to that same way of thinking. I'd rather be prepared and not have to use it than be stuck in one out of a million situation where I need it and don't have it. You know what I
Agreed.
mean?
Agreed.
Mhm. Yeah.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think this weekend was the first time in my life that I thought maybe I need to get a gun.
Have you ever shot a gun, Jamie?
No.
Well,
That's why I was
Jamie,
like, do you have to be trained to do that? Like, I don't.
no, you can,
You go
Jamie,
shooting
if
range.
you have a clean record, you can go buy a gun, or you can put in to buy a gun.
What's a clean
right?
record?
Well, like,
Any felonies?
I think,
No, I don't have any felonies.
yeah, you can.
There you go. You're good.
Yeah, you
But
can go
is it
buy.
true that you can't buy a gun when you have your medical marijuana card?
No.
No,
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I don't think that's true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. It's not true in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I wouldn't trust myself with a gun and not be trained.
yeah,
You know
I
what?
mean,
You
go to
could just
shooting
go
range.
rent one.
Yeah,
go to
you can rent
Target
it.
World, and they
Mhm.
have like, you go to any shooting range, they have certified instructors there. They have classes. They have everything like that, and they have like women's self-defense also. So they'll teach you, like, as a woman, the best way to use it for like a larger opponent, if that's the case, But James, you mentioned that you wish you had it this weekend. Please enlighten us. Justin, wait, Justin, do you have any more questions?
I just have one more, and then we can talk about Jamie needing a firearm.
Go ahead.
But what's the highest B.A.C you've ever seen?
Oh, good question.
Great question, Justin.
Yeah. So before I worked in Doylestown, I worked up in Upper Bucks County, Penridge Regional Police, and I responded for a hit and run accident. Guy rear-ended somebody.
Sophisticated gentleman.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
road. And he gets out, the driver of the striking vehicle says, "I'm late for work. I gotta go." And he takes off, gets back in his car and takes off. The guy that got hit was smart enough to get the license plate. So he gets the license plate, he gives it to me, I run it, and I find out this guy works at a restaurant right down the road. So I go drive down, I get this guy, he's a restaurant, he's a cook at the restaurant. Meanwhile, his car's like limping. Like I think he drove like on a flat tire and whatnot. He totaled the other vehicle too. Anyway, so I get this guy out of the kitchen, he comes back, walks out, just normal, walks out having conversation. He's maybe slurring his words a little bit. "Hey, officer, what's going on?" type of stuff. And I'm just like, I put him through fields. He does okay. But then I B.A.C him. I get his blood results back. He's a 0.43.
It has to be a mistake.
Yeah, no,
Was it
I
a
don't think it
mistake?
was.
Now if you
No.
do blood work,
Yeah.
What's
And I'm
normal
telling
for
you,
blood? What's normal for blood?
I would have to say, well, the highest limit that the state of Pennsylvania considers is 0.16.
Okay.
Yeah, so this guy, and the legal limit for driving is 0.08. So if you're over 0.08 BAC, like the state considers you DUI. This guy was a 0.4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
Was
he's
he
sitting
just
there
snorting moonshine or something? God
He's-
damn.
He's a professional. He's a career alcoholic. He goes to bed over the legal limit. He gets up in the morning and like he brushes his teeth with a shot of booze.
So-
My God.
Jesus.
the idea is
Yeah.
that you go to the DMV intoxicated, you take your driver's license test with a B.A.C. If you pass, you now have, instead of a 0.08, I passed with a 0.12. And so it now reflects on my license, and you now have a new legal limit,
There you go.
it's
I
not
like
fair.
that.
That guy, other than the major accident, but he probably could drive safely at a 3.6.
And we also don't
Well,
know if it
yeah.
was his fault either. Could have
Yeah,
been
that
the
guy
other
probably
True,
stopped
true.
short.
Yeah.
So that was probably the highest I've ever had. And like I said, I was
Wow.
really shocked because, he came out, he was having a normal conversation with me.
You wouldn't have
like,
noticed.
Oh,
You
I
didn't
wouldn't
notice.
notice.
A 5,
Yeah.
you're dead. I mean, you
Mhm.
should be dead at if you're at 5, you're
And
dead.
you said a 0.46?
Yeah, I
It was
figured a 0.4
0.43.
would be dead.
0.43. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I think I'd be
Yeah.
dead.
It's almost half
Ah,
your blood is alcohol.
Dude, you wouldn't be able to stand. You
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to form a sentence.
Yeah.
James.
I know.
kidding me?
I don't think I can form a sentence after 0.1.
Yeah, no, I can't either. Yeah, golly,
Yeah.
0.4. Jesus, Justin, that was a great question.
Mhm.
Awesome. So that was Jdubs question segment. Thank you for that, Justin. We'll get back if you have more questions, Justin. Just save them. So,
I'll be here for the rest of the night.
yep, very good. Jamie, if you could please enlighten us as to what happened that caused you to think, "Damn, I wish I had a gun."
Well, I do a lot of weddings in the city, but
Yep.
this weekend was like in North Philly off a Temple campus, and like
Oh,
I've had
Mm.
I've had a few negative experiences with
Like the
people in
23rd
city.
and Diamond area, like around there.
Broad and Green.
Oh, all right, I know where you're at.
On my way out of the setup, broad daylight, I was dumb. I was pulling a wagon with my backpack in it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure some girls tried to rob me, like a group of teenage girls. And then I have to do breakdowns too. So I'm going to the city like middle of the night. And I did one this weekend and almost fought the whole staff. Not that I would have used a gun inside the venue, but it's just like the type of people that are around that area.
What
Like,
the fuck?
you just
They're
gotta be
just
ready for
assholes.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how it's getting. It's just getting worse and worse, and people are just
No, yeah.
losing
More
it.
brazen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you,
Well,
do
people
you
think
train
you're a
any
mark.
self-defense, Jamie?
No. And
No.
like if those girls would have taken my bag, I was way too tired to even run after them.
Mm.
So like I don't know what I was more mad at myself, I think, because why would I think that was a good idea to pull my
Mm.
bag in a wagon?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, you live, you learn, but also you were tired and all that stuff. I would say, I mean, Jared, you probably have the same thought as me as as far as like self-defense training. Obviously, jiu-jitsu is the great equalizer.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
absolutely
Especially
it
for
is.
women. Especially for women. So, Jamie, if you ever are interested in training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we can get you in. I will say this, Jared. Justin has said he'll be in for training, let's say 15 times. Because how
Invite
many?
me. Just tell me when to show up. I don't even know where the place is.
Justin, wow.
Justin,
that
come
is-
on in, bud.
you
We'll
have
get you
been-
into it.
You've
me
been
a-
invited.
Give
Think
me
of
a
all.
time and an address. I'll show up.
Think of all that all the Henzo guys we've had on the show, right? Like we had Don Lyons, Frank Palumbo, John Dorito, Chad
Perfect.
Kilhefner, Mike Padilla. Mike Padilla's been on the show 3 goddamn times. We
He's the
had
legend.
Rich. We had Sean Williams. We had, we've recorded with Isaac. We've had JR, right? Like,
Yeah.
all of these guys open it. We had a Henzo Gracie roundtable on the show. And they said, hey, Justin, would love to have you. Come on in anytime.
We're going to come to your house pretty soon, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. I got a backyard.
Yeah.
We can wrestle in the grass.
Oh, boy.
I picked up the dog poop today.
Nice. So, all right, let's keep it moving then. So, okay. I do want to ask this real quick before we get into some quap talk. More quap talk. We want some quap talk. Yep. So, what job have you had that if it paid enough money, you would still be doing it? Right? Like, for instance, damn. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like my job now.
I'll give you one right now.
Go
I
ahead.
used to work in a cold storage facility driving
Yeah.
a forklift.
You
and
loved it.
if it was Cheez-Its and not, -20, like if it was 70-degree
Yeah.
driving a forklift, I'd be doing it right now.
Yeah. You loved it. You loved it. Yeah. So what job would you have that you really liked, but it was either just, too strenuous or bad hours or didn't pay enough
But they
that
pay you
you
$7 an hour.
that had it worked out, you would still be doing it to this day?
Yeah. That's kind of like a twofold for me. Like I said, I did construction for a while and, working outside, working with my hands, in the fresh air,
Yeah.
there's nothing, you show up at the beginning of the job, there's a giant hole in the ground and then you leave and there's a house,
yeah.
super very, very rewarding job, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, if I could keep that going and not take the toll on my body and not have to work out in the elements and like the freezing cold or the boiling heat and stuff like that, like I would do that. I love that. On the other side of it, like, you know, I mentioned before that like I'm a musician, like, you know, I'm in audio. I went to school for audio engineering. So it's like, if I had a job that like, you know, I can do music from the time that I wake up and just walked into my studio with my cup of coffee and like work with music, work with bands and stuff like that. If I can do that and make enough money to support me and my family, like that would be a really rewarding one too, if I can keep it going.
Hey man, we'll get there one day.
Every time we walk into Dick's Sporting Goods, I do this to my girlfriend because they usually have sometimes like a greeter and stuff. I walk in and go, "This is one of the biggest dicks I've ever seen." I mean, I've been to a lot of dicks, and this is a big Dick's, and it's clean. This is a big, clean Dick's. I think I love this Dick's. We should come to this Dick's more often. She's like, "Will you shut up?"
I would love. She's like, "I'm gonna leave you for this Dick's, you bastard." But I would love it if she was like, "Yeah, I wish your Dick's was this big."
Clean.
Yeah, no, I would love to talk to a Dick's like greeter, like you know, that's like, yeah, the first 5,000 times I heard someone say that it was great, but now it just makes me want to kill myself. But all right, but let's keep it moving. So, all right, we're gonna talk co-op. We're gonna co-op talk. So
let's do it.
You're okay. So what were you doing? So I have a couple questions. We'll rip them up. One, what were you doing before you became a cop? Why'd you want to be a cop? And what was the process like being a cop? Go.
All right. So before I was a cop, I was a contractor. It was 2008. I got laid off during the housing market crash.
I see.
Yeah.
Jamie, just so you know, contractors, you know, we work with tools and we cut wood and do a lot of things like that. I just want, you know, that's something as a woman you might not know. Us contractors know that stuff though.
Impressive.
You know?
It's impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I'm an impressive guy. So sorry, I interrupted you. 2008 market crash. You're in a lot of shit. So what's going on?
Yeah. So 2008, 2009, I was on and off work, like wasn't getting much work, stuff like that. I was starting to get really frustrated. And then 2010 came and my wife got pregnant and we bought a house and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was, I was like, look, I can't keep doing this part-time work shit. I got to figure something out. Yeah. So when I was a kid, I've always had in the back of my mind being a cop or being a police officer in the back of my mind since I was a kid. My uncle, when I was younger, was a police officer.
Oh,
so
nice.
My wife, she said to me, she's like, well, you always want to be a police officer. Why don't you go try that out? You know? So in 2010, I got laid off and then I put myself through the police academy. Nice. And put myself through the police academy. And I was one of 30 cadets at the time that there was 10 of us when we graduated that had jobs.
Where is like the Philadelphia Police Academy or?
No, it was Montgomery County.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, through Montgomery County Community College. They have their own police academy. So I enrolled. Nice. Yeah, and then I graduated and I got hired as a part-time police officer in Dublin Borough.
Dude. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So dude, I'm telling you, this is exactly what we were talking about by being protector provider when you have a house, when you have a family. It is as a man, I think this, and you know, I don't know if, you know, but as a man, it's your goddamn job, right? There's no questions about it, right? There's certain things like I always felt like the trash, that's a man job. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Putting in doors and fixing decks, that's a man job.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? And protecting the house, that's the man's job. Right? I don't care what you say. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You could be the toughest bitch in the world.
The bugs.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, killing all the bugs. Bugs. And carrying in the groceries. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a man's job. Yep. Oh, yeah. You got to get all the groceries in. But I'll tell you, there's one thing. I mean, you know, you might be the toughest bitch in the world, but if you hear someone breaking in at night, you're going to nudge your husband and be like, hey, go check and see what that noise was.
Yeah.
You know?
Go handle that.
Yeah. And it's your job. And that's your fucking job. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, okay. So you go to what was so you like, there's a whole kind of like course you can take at Monco that has.
So there's, I think it was 6 months was
nice.
the police academy, if I remember correctly. It might've been shorter than that, but anyway, Yeah, they go through the whole training courses for, the state requirements to become a certified Pennsylvania state police or Pennsylvania municipal police officer.
Dude.
So Act 120 certification. I did that, and like I said, I got hired as a part-time officer.
Did you have to have like a college education or anything prior to that?
No, surprisingly, no. Back then, you didn't have to. A lot of the departments around the area are starting to change their requirements now. Now you need like a bachelor's or an associate's at least, I had a little bit of college, not much. Like I said, I went and got my audio engineering degree, did a few semesters at Bucks and stuff like that. But so I started working part-time. I did part-time for about 4 years before I got hired in Doylestown. Full time.
Nice. So what was part-time like? It's kind of like you're like a substitute teacher. They just call you when they need you.
Yeah, it was absolute bullshit if I were to have to sum it up, because
really,
you're working your ass off. So at the time I was working part-time at police work. I had my own contracting business and my own sound business too. So one day I would be working night shift from like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would have off like an 8 hour. I would have 8 hours off, and then I would have to be, framing a house at 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh. Yeah. It was, and just over and over and over again, and then some days you'd have to go to court to testify and stuff, and like trying to keep like mentally sharp. Yeah, it's torture.
Tough, dude.
It was torture.
That is tough. I mean, is it one of those things though, like paying your dues, like all the cops do it, or was that not that common?
At the time, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But if I were to do it over again, I would if anybody was in my shoes back then, I'd say, no, go straight for the full-time position. Don't waste your time with part-time work.
Nice.
I mean, it was good for me at the time because it got my foot in the door. And like I said, I didn't have college education. I didn't have military. So it kind of helped to like pay my dues a little bit. And eventually, like, I made a name for myself in the area and I got picked up full time somewhere, so nice. It helped. But if anybody thinks about getting into police work, spend your time, do your college, and get that paper. That really helps a lot.
Nice. So your first assignment you said was in Dublin?
Dublin Borough, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Dublin, I mean, it's like a smaller town, right? Like nothing crazy. Like I'll tell you too, like as a father, right? Like you're a father at this time, you're married, like you're kind of like building a home and a life. And honestly, like I know, like if you're a young guy, like I want to be where the action is. I want to do it, dude. I am fucking like get me as far away from that as possible, right? I want to be the toughest thing around here is a speeding ticket guy. That's what you know what I'm saying. Like put me there. I'm not trying to put myself. You got people that depend on you.
Adventure, excitement. A Jedi craves not these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Dude.
Yeah, believe me, I used to think that too, that it's like I said before, like before police work, I kind of lived in a little bit of a bubble. Like, oh, like those city problems don't happen out here. Like we don't have drugs, we don't have crime, anything like that. One thing that really helped, and especially working in a small town like Dublin, like the thing with Dublin, it was kind of a transient town, like cheap living. You'd get people that lived there for like a couple months, and before you know it, they were gone. And then like, so what you get then is like people, like they come in, they don't give a shit if they get busted or they do drugs and they get busted for that. Boom, and then they're out the next week. So like, and that's what
How come people leave? How come people come and leave so much there?
Well, it's like, you'd get somebody from, say, New York. They would come in, they would live for a couple months, and they'd be like, all right, now it's time to go somewhere else. Maybe they're trying to outrun like a bad rat from New York, or they're trying to outrun their past or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, you get a very transient population, like people that like they come in, it's because it's cheap. They'll rent an apartment for maybe a month or two, and then before you know it, they're gone. And like the week before is like, you popped them for marijuana possession or heroin or whatever, and you're filing charges on them. Before you know it, you have a warrant for them, and you next know they're living over in California or something like that. So
Indiana, they're just working their way town to town.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fucking annoying. And like you can't really enforce the warrant or whatever if they're not there, right? So it's kind of just that sucks.
Exactly. So it's like it's just sitting in limbo,
But if they ever come back, you can be like,
right? Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Can
Quick
you
story.
extradite someone from a warrant?
It really depends. Like anything lower than a felony, it's really hard to extradite somebody. There's three levels of a charge. There's summary, misdemeanor, and a felony. So usually they're not going to extradite somebody from another state unless it's like up at that felony level.
I was in jail with a woman who was extradited from Florida on a 10-year-old DUI. That was her story.
Oh, wow.
That was her story. So
Right.
You always get the basics, right?
Yeah.
And that she didn't mention that DUI. She murdered 3 people.
Yeah, it was a hit and run.
Yeah, it was just a DUI.
And the shit bodies in the back.
Yeah. But
quick story. When I was working, when I just got hired in Doylestown, and you think like the most menial thing. We got dispatched. I was still on FTO. I was brand new. I was like, kind of green to the area.
What does FTO mean?
Field training.
Okay.
So I had a field training officer with me. So essentially like your first year of when you get hired at a police department, you have to do field training. You have to ride with somebody, they show you the roads, they show you the reporting system, whatnot. Yeah. And they, so while I was going through that process, we got dispatched to a vehicle lockout. So we go to there's one local business for a vehicle lockout. You think you pop the guy's door open, you check his ID, and then he's on his way, So here, lo and behold, when I'm checking this guy's ID, he's got a fucking felony arrest warrant from California for gun charge.
Why would he call the cops?
Yeah, well, that's what I said, like, why the hell are you calling cops when you got this shit under your
Break
rep,
your window.
Yeah,
exactly. So here I am. I'm getting dispatched to like unlock this guy's door, and here I am arresting him for a felony gun charge,
Golly.
So they're gonna fly him back for.
So we arrested him and they flew him back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it Delta or Spirit? What kind of flight?
I don't know. Yeah, with that type of stuff, it's like you get confirmation on the warrant, and the county calls over to California, and California says, "Yeah, sure enough, we want them, so arrest them." So that's what we did. Yeah,
that's nuts. And then what?
Like nuts?
You shipped them to California?
Well, we took them to jail. We took them to our local jail, county lockup, and then the sheriffs and the correctional officers make arrangements to ship them back out to California.
Oh, that sucks for that guy.
Sucks for him, right?
He did that to himself,
dude. When we had Chad Marks on the show, he talked about like transport in the unit, like. Because I think he had to go like from like somewhere like
far, like Buffalo to like Oklahoma or something.
Yeah, something like that. And dude, he was like, it was fucking torture. And they
I can't imagine.
They had done what's called black boxed him, where they put his hands in like a black box, so he couldn't do. He was like
hands and feet, and then just sitting on a plane. Like it already sucks.
That's terrible.
Sitting on a plane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Plus, dude, like they flew him somewhere, but then he had like a 13-hour drive like that afterwards. He was like, brutal. Yeah, awful.
That sucks.
Yeah. He told us it was terrible. But hey, he's going to jail. What are you gonna do?
So I know it's hard to feel bad.
Yeah. So
did it suck on the way to jail?
Of course, you're going to a state penitentiary.
Sorry, it wasn't more comfortable.
Yeah. So real quick though, we are coming towards the top of time. I do want a couple more co-op talks. Jamie, do you have a question for co-op talk?
No.
We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Jdub, what do you got for co-op talk?
Oh man, how you feel about the hat? You like the hat? You feel cool in the hat?
I hate the hat.
You like the chin strap?
No. Actually, I have the Philly Crush hat, so it's not too bad.
Are you a state police officer?
No, I'm a local municipal.
Oh, I thought you had the Mountie hat with the chin.
No, the Great Gods hat. Yeah,
you've got the black brim blue cap.
Yeah, and it's
classic.
Nice and skinny. It's nice and skinny looking.
I used to have my uncle was a Philadelphia cop for 25 years. And I had one of his hats when I was a kid, and I over the years had lost it. It had, the old ones from the 80s had like that pocket in the top.
Yes,
had like a secret pocket in there. I loved it, and I had lost it. I still have his baton.
Nice,
his
collector's items.
Yeah, those nightsticks. They are. You don't realize it. Those things they're
solid.
Lethal. Yeah,
and
you can hold them all the different ways and stuff.
Yeah,
dude, the way there's a couple different chokeout styles using the corner of the stick. So I know the story about this guy who the police, how do I put this, inserted the nightstick into him, and then he sued the police department, and he won $9 million.
As you do.
But
Oy,
I mean,
oy.
if you've ever seen the nightstick, it's a girthy nightstick.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's
to get
not
back
a
to your
question.
we have the Philly crush hat. It's nice. It sits slow on my head and it's nice and skinny. So the older I get and the less hair that I have up here, the more I don't mind the hat so much.
Sure. Perks to every job, you know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, what else you got, Justin?
So you've got the shotgun up front with you.
I have a patrol rifle or a long gun, AR-15, whatever
Does
you
that
want to call
stay
it.
in the back, or do they still have it like up? Remember, they used to have it like up front in between the two
Yeah.
car seats.
Yeah, we still have those. Yeah. We used to have them in the back in the trunk in like a secure locker in the back, but we've since moved them up front.
And
Yeah, they're up in the cab with us.
Do you carry spike strips like with you?
Yep.
How's that?
Yeah, I carry spike strips.
Have you ever spike stripped anyone?
I have not.
We gotta get you.
It
We gotta
is,
get you pit maneuvering. We gotta get you
tell me
spike
about it.
stripping.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
this is
I believe that's one thing I definitely want to do one day is hopefully I get to spike strip somebody. Even if it's myself, I'll do
You
it.
are-
Fingers
more
crossed,
than-
pal. Fingers crossed.
You're more than welcome to not answer this question, but have you discharged your weapon?
At animals.
Oh, out of mercy or out of like
Mercy. Mercy,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
like it's like a roadkill situation
yeah,
kind of
like
thing.
deer.
Yeah, like struck deer, struck raccoons, fox,
You might-
possum, stuff
Oh,
like that.
that's
yeah.
tough because they're just in
it's tough.
misery. And
They
it's
are.
like-
They're in total misery. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's the
Sad.
fastest way.
Do you
Yeah.
still have to write the report, even if you
Still have to
discharge-
write the report. You have to write a weapons
Damn.
discharge report.
You're like
yeah.
this fucking this fucking fox cost me 5 fucking papers worth. God.
I had to put 3 in them. You know, he wouldn't stop wiggling.
Damn, that's plus 2. Like if they get hit and they're bleeding in the gut internally, they're just gonna
Yeah.
slow death of
Yeah.
misery.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you're
at that
doing the
point.
right thing there. That's tough.
Yeah.
But the paperwork for
Mhm.
that's gotta suck.
It
Us-
is. Well, it's true. If you guys ever heard that 90% of police work is paperwork, it's pretty true.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
did hear
accurate.
that. Even now in like the electronic age, is it more tablets and stuff, or is it still like fill out this form and file this form and put in this form?
Well, yeah, more it's all electronic, but it's still
Yeah.
like it's different electronic forms that you have to do.
Ugh.
A lot of
Yeah.
info that has to be inputted.
Mhm.
Would you any consideration of being like a motorcycle cop? Especially with the
Yes.
Motocross background.
Yeah. Believe me, I've crossed that. Not to go jump back here, but my biological father was killed on a motorcycle, so I try to stay away from the street bikes
Okay.
as much as I
Yeah.
can. You know.
Oh wow. So
yeah,
wait,
not to bring the mood down. Sorry.
oh man. I mean,
Nah.
we'll get back to that another time. But
Yeah.
nice. So all right, Justin, more co-op talk.
I mean, we could. So, do you have to tell people you're a cop? Or are you allowed to lie to them?
Nah, I don't have to. I don't
you know
have
that
to.
famous. I mean, I knew that, but like that famous thing that like,
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you a cop?
If you're a
'Cause you have
cop,
to
you gotta
tell
tell
me.
me. You gotta tell me
Yeah,
you're a cop.
yeah.
you're like,
No,
I
usually I
don't."
tell people I'm an audio engineer, which I wouldn't be lying to them then. You know.
True.
Wait, so do you have to tell people you're a cop if they ask?
Nah,
No.
there's nothing written
That
in
is
the law.
such a lie.
People used to
Ah.
say it
If
was
you're a cop, if
entrapment.
you're an undercover
Yeah.
cop, you have to tell me, right?
Yeah.
It's
And
Do you
everybody's
do-
like, it's
Law.
entrapment if you don't. Yeah.
Do you do
What's-
undercover work?
No, I don't. No.
No.
I mean, I
Reason
could tell
being
you
is
anything.
it's a lot of risk being undercover. I give
I'm-
guys that want to do that type of work all the respect in the world. It's just not for me.
Also, Jamie, you're seeing him via Zoom. If you saw him in real life, he wouldn't have to be in unit. He could be wearing fucking pajamas, and you'd be like, "Hey, you're a fucking co-op. All right, I know you're a co-op. All right, I know what
Yeah.
co-ops look like. I could smell a co-op from a mile away, and you're a co-op."
True. I definitely look like a cop. Yeah.
I can kind of tell by the haircut.
Yeah. It's the haircut. Yeah. Got to keep it high and tight. You know.
Do they make is that like issue like department issue, like you have to keep it high and tight?
Not necessarily, but we do have grooming standards. You know, you have to be clean shaven.
Yeah.
Your hair has to be, acceptable, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's
So my
all-
wife is a hairstylist, so I get
Oh,
it done
nice.
like every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Hey man,
Mhm.
that's all part of the image, right? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like Ric Flair had a great saying because he always talked about like
Woo!
his lavish outfits.
That was the
and
great
everything.
saying.
Yeah.
Ric Flair has a great saying. Woo!
Yeah, but he always like lavish and like crazy outfits and super expensive and all this stuff. And he would like people ask him like why he would do that, and his dad was a doctor right? And he would say like, well, what if I showed up to his dad would say like, what if I showed up to my doctor's office in slippers and a house coat? You know what I mean? Like if you need, and if you're in an authoritative position like that, you do need to be taken seriously. And part of it is your appearance. It has to be top notch. You know what I mean? If you showed up like a freaking Strunza, you know what I mean? People be like, bro, do you really think I'm going to pay this parking ticket or go?
Right.
Like.
And I subscribe to the same way of thinking. It's like, I try to look my best going into work because again, I want to have that image, that I am working hard to be here. So I respect people, or I would want people to show me that same respect. Type of thing.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid, but that's just the way that I was brought up,
Dude, no, you're
especially in that position where it's there is a level of respect that is necessary for you to communicate to each other correctly.
Sure.
Yeah. Correct.
A little bit goes a long way from our side to your side and vice versa.
It's a great way of saying it. Yeah.
Agreed.
I got two more for you, then I'll leave you alone. Do you get free hot dogs at Wawa?
No, I get free coffee.
I heard you got free hot dogs. You don't get free hot dogs?
No free hot dogs. Nope.
I'll tell you.
I pay for all my food.
Dude, wait, that's why I always see the cops at Wawa.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Genius move by Wawa. No one's robbing Wawa. The cops are
exactly
always
what they're thinking. It's free security for Wawa, and that's the way they think of it.
Dude.
If they got to pay like a free cup of coffee to get some free security, then boom.
They make that back in like 5
the mob
seconds.
Does the same thing. We'll take care of you. I just need a sandwich every Thursday.
Yeah. So usually what I do, I mean, this is just me, my personal, I know everybody's not the same, but usually what I do is, that little like charity tip jar thing they have next to the register. Yeah. So I'll drop like $2 in there, like just for the price of my coffee, like if I can't pay the business, then at least I'll give it to somebody else, Hey, that's my way of thinking.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. You don't have to.
My Wawa, you get hot dogs too. All right.
Really?
Yeah. In my Wawa, I'll give you hot dogs for the office.
Cool. I'll come to your Wawa.
The firemen just get free coffee.
Yeah. There you go.
What's the all right, last one. What's the most drugs you found?
Good question.
And is that Justin's house?
Was it like dumb? Like, is it? I assume it'll be most likely pulling someone over. Was it like dumb and out in the open, or like was it like
in a shoebox?
Like, did you get lucky?
No,
like, holy shit!
It's usually most I've found is usually in like a backpack.
Nothing like
I think here.
Yeah, like well hidden.
I would have to say, I found probably like a backpack full of marijuana, and there's some heroin in there. I think they had a few crack vials too. In a backpack.
Woo!
But then I've been at marijuana grow ops before too, where it's you walk out. Actually, the basement of this one that I've gone into, the entire basement was filled with plants and stuff like that. And the reason this guy got busted was because his ex-wife was dropping off their kids. He wasn't home, and the ex-wife went walking through the house, and she's like, "What's that smell?" Goes walking down into the basement, and here's a giant operation down there. And she would, what is it? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Wow.
She snitched on him. Yeah.
He's like, I don't want my kid to see his father. Boom.
Yeah.
Go into jail.
Boom.
Hello, full custody.
Took care of that problem.
Wow, man. Hey, damn, that sucks.
How many plans?
Oh geez.
Jamie, FYI, we are blaming that all on you because you're a woman.
No way. I would never do that.
Oh, you
I'm
say
not
that.
A snitch.
You say that now, Jamie. You say that now, but when a guy fucks you over.
I just had this talk actually with my girlfriend the other night. Jamie, how long would you wait if you had a man you were in love with and you had a good relationship? How long would you wait if he went to jail?
Oh, like for him?
Yeah.
Like a week.
No. I guess like up to 2 years, because you can only be in county for 2 years. I'd like 2 years.
2 years?
Then you think that you're going to state and like you probably did something bad, and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's the other way. What about you, Jared? How long are you
looking
waiting?
at me? Yeah, I guess it really depends. Yeah, probably about 2 years.
2. All right.
Yeah,
that's fair. Matt?
Yeah.
I mean, no time at all. You're a criminal, and I don't have time for criminals.
What if we have conjugatory visits?
In county? They don't do conjugatories and conjugal visits or whatever. And
no, you can't even touch.
Come visit me
you can't even touch
months.
your visitor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
you
In
know
county, you
that-
can't. Yeah.
Jamie, you know from experience, huh? All right.
Yeah, I called and I
Probation.
tried. They said no.
Yeah.
I was in for a month because I smoked weed on probation.
That sucks.
Wah,
Provo's
wah.
a bastard.
Oh,
Yeah. So, okay. Guys, we are coming towards
Yeah.
the top of time. We went way over time.
Come back for more cop talk.
But no, Jared, I think Justin and Jamie and I are usually on the same page for this. But bro, we would love to have you back on if you would be back on.
Absolutely.
Dude,
This was a lot of fun.
This was so much fun. I'd love to do a collab with the crew. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Get you on, get your crew on. We could have a whole collab
You
show.
bring your crew, we'll bring our crew.
Right, but like I
Yeah.
mean, if you brought your crew on the show and we could do like one of your shows on this show. I'd love that.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun. Like
Your
something
crew-
I think
like-
that's a great idea.
yeah, I'd love to get crew talk on here, and then we could do a working pod on yours. You know what I mean? Like, just go, a little collab, man. You know what I mean?
J-crew.
I
Sounds good. Let's do it.
dude. I'll book you after this then. Nice,
Sounds good.
love it. So we are coming towards the top of time, Jared. Is there something you would like to say to your friends and family before we get out of here, or your fans, or whoever the fuck?
Everybody, just I appreciate you guys sticking with me through the journey, and to you, Matt, and to Justin and to Jamie. Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun, and let's do it again.
No,
Thank you,
dude,
officer.
thank you, man. This was awesome. Dude, I knew this was gonna be fun. You're a blast, bro. And I can't
Thanks,
wait
buddy.
to have you. I can't wait to have you back. I'm literally gonna text you after this with dates for booking the
Sounds
cruise.
good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
No, this is gonna be
Book it,
fun.
get it? Book 'em, Dana.
Everything's coming back around.
Love it. Jamae, anything you want to say to the Jammers before we get out of here?
Thanks for sharing your story, Jared. And I'm about to go eat some crumble cookies.
Love it.
Let's do it.
Nice. Jalen Dub, anything you want to say to the Jdub Nation before we rowdy 5,000?
I mean, again, it is always a privilege to talk to a police officer when he's not shining a flashlight in my face.
Oh, it's
So-
great. It's the best. They're the
so
best.
It's a real treat.
Dude, when they're not arresting you, cops are just a blast, man.
Yeah,
They're a blast.
cops aren't so bad when they're not mad at you. So,
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's true.
when you're not committing a crime, these guys are top notch. All right, they're just
Turns
great.
out,
Turns out they're a real kick in the pants, huh? How about it? But speaking of kicks in the pants, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by Jalen Dub, Justin Richardson, the amazing Jamie Iglesias, and our guest today is the one and only Jared Courts. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok. A Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See ya.